Hello, everybody. A little audio difficulty as me and Coach Busby. You caught us talking a little bit before we get started here on Inside the Headset, the Wednesday night edition, as we roll into high school football. It's the weather's been great here in the state of Tennessee, and I know it's been pretty decent in the state of Alabama, but we're going to start it off, and we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We've been doing this for quite some time, and we're going to get it started off in Helena, Alabama, as we've got head coach Richie Busby on the line. And Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm kind of puzzled by the good weather in Tennessee because the heat index here Monday was 115 at 3:30.
Oh, goodness me. It's hard to gauge. I mean, we're 3 hours from you down in Birmingham,
Yeah.
and you're not really in Birmingham. You're a little bit below, but at the same time, you've you guys have to battle that heat and the humidity. It's not really the heat. If you had some cool air and the humidity was down, you could handle it, couldn't you, Coach?
Well, I'm kind of complaining, but we practice at 6 a.m. We practice 6 to 8 every day, but we do bring our kids back in the afternoon, especially in fall camp. Just doing walkthrough special team stuff out there has been miserable. And you've been to that stadium; it sits up on a hill, so when that wind is blowing, it's kind of like standing inside an oven out there in the afternoon. So, been brutal. Then yesterday, the high was 86 with no humidity, and about 71 at night. It was like where it came from, and then Saturday it's going to be up heat index, 107, 108. So typical Alabama. I think we should just cancel August in Alabama.
I tell you what, you guys battle the heat. And then how are numbers? I was looking at a roster, and I'm not real for sure about the roster or whatnot, but it looks like you've got a lot of kids out this fall.
Well, yeah, we're about 129 through 12, and since I've been there, it's my sixth season. We're usually between 120 and 30, so we're about where we should be, and our senior class is a little smaller than normal, with 23, 24 guys in it. So overall, our numbers are good. I mean, we feel like when we get them the senior year, if we can have 25 kids in the senior, junior, and the sophomore class, and usually our freshman classes are, in the 50s, and then they kind of weed themselves out as they get older. But our numbers are good.
So how are you going to look defensively on that side of the ball? How are you going to look on that side of the ball? We've got a feedback.
Well, yeah, we got our Mike linebacker back from IMG, and I feel really good about our back end. I mean, our back end is probably as good, our linebackers and our secondary is good as we've had since I've been here. Collectively, we've got some answers. We've got to answer some questions tomorrow night with some of our guys on both fronts.
Coach, we got a bad feedback, or I'm not for sure if it's your line or my situation. We got a bad feedback. Start over there with that. Please. We were catching just bad feedback, or something was going on. Could you repeat that, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were asking about the defense. Our back end is, I feel really good about it. We got our Mike linebacker back from IMG for his senior year. So the back end's probably as good as we've had. We've got some questions to answer on the defensive front as well as on the other side on that front. So, and that's where games are won. So our skilled kids on defense are as good as we've had, but we'll find out tomorrow night against a good Leeds team that went 10-2 last year. Some guys that hopefully that can play up front on defense.
What do you got accomplished tomorrow night when you go through your scrimmage and jamboree? I mean, I talked to Coach Creasy today, and he said, I know what the ones can do. I need to see what the twos and the threes can do.
Well, Coach Creasy is a little ahead of us because I still got to figure out. Overall as a team, our biggest concerns are up front. We're really thin up front. We're replacing 3 offensive linemen. We've got some good players there. They just haven't played any. So my biggest question mark going into the jamboree tomorrow night are our offensive line and our quarterback play. overall, and then my next concern is kind of how we play up front on defense. So, concerned about your front in high school football and any level of football. It's not very. I won't sleep well for a while until we figure those things out.
Well, Coach, we and logistically, you want to when you go through a jamboree, you want to run through everything as if it's game situation, whether that's the concession stand, them doing their job, but if you're taking up a little gate or whatever you're trying to do there, it's really a walkthrough of everything, because a lot of people don't understand that on Friday nights there's you as a head coach, you've got some other responsibilities other than running the team. You still have some logistics things going on there, and you being the athletic director, that falls on you.
Yeah, and the great thing about being able to have a jamboree is you get to iron out all those kinks and the things you wrong. It's kind of like getting to retake the test this week. So we're fortunate we don't necessarily have a traditional spring training in Alabama. I mean, for us, we don't. So having this jamboree will help us iron out all those issues.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us here on Inside the Headset. Any logistics you want to give out to your fans and faculty, staff, and administration before we jump on and talk to the head coach of the Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers? Yeah, you don't know Gary Rankin. Have you met Gary Rankin at any of the coaching clinics?
I don't think I have, but I'm familiar with his name. For us, we're pushing the game back 30 minutes tomorrow night just because of bus issues and availability of bus drivers, so we won't get to leave. So it's been pushed out at 6. We've tried to get it to everybody that we're pushing the start back to 6:30 tomorrow night, and that's about it.
Well, Coach, we hope that we'll talk to you next week and everything, but appreciate you joining us on Inside the Headset.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you, Stuart. Talk to you next week.
All right. See you. Bye.